no problems, no issues. A little bit of painting peeling because someone didn't prep it when they powder coated it. And then we got a nice little chip right there. At the beginning of the week, that chip was not there. Then it appeared, and now it's growing. And then we got a chip.
Welcome to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. This week on Sam's Garage, the great race rolls through the mountains of West Virginia as teams tackle winding roads, vintage engines, and small-town hospitality. We'll meet the racers, the artists, and even a 15-year-old driver chasing his dream. Then we head to Southfield Classics to talk EV manufacturing and the future of high-voltage builds. Finally, Sam breaks down the science of boost, turbochargers, wastegates, and blow-off valves made simple.
We have 135 plus cars in the great race.
Checkpoints along the way that they don't know in advance, and so the goal is you're going to stay on target.
From start to finish, it's like family to me.
So keeping it maintained, keeping it running hard, it's a complete family member. It's an experience.
All the workers, all the towns that have been welcoming us.
Winning an ace in the great race is just, it's one of the things that just lifts you up.
Were we on time and everybody else was wrong? Were they on time and we were wrong? I guess we'll find out tonight.
135 vintage cars, endless hills, and hometown pride, this leg of the great race runs through the scenic roads of West Virginia.
We just left a very scenic area back in Charleston. We went through the New River Gorge Bridge, which is the tallest arch bridge in North America, built in 1977. Right now we're in Lewisburg, which is considered the coolest small town in USA. And from the looks of it, the Nissan made it. We just went through some treacherous back roads, but it was absolutely a blast. We've got a small little chip right here on the windshield that's growing a little bit, so we have to watch out for that.
It's a 1938 Chevy. It's all original, other than the interior. My wife actually sewed the interior together for us. Mechanically, it's been gone through, but it's still all the original parts and pieces. 80 horsepower, 216 cubic inch, inline six, second gear only, up hills, and top speed of 35. This area is pretty challenging to get up and down through those hills.
Oh, we got Tehran navigating today, and then my buddy's Finn's in the back seat, just chilling, having a good day. St. Louis Community College team, we got a 72 Mercury Cougar running this year, and a 1941 Ford Super Deluxe. And we are team 2 with this car. We are in the automotive program, which is just a 2-year program, just to see if you want to learn the process of becoming a technician and working on cars. And a lot of us are working in shops back in St. Louis, so we love it. My dad, a couple of years ago, bought a VW Bug 68, and I've just been messing with that for a couple of years with him, so family tradition. The great race experience it's great. Just going around the country, seeing things I've never seen before, and states I've never been to, and doing it with my buddies from school is probably the greatest experience I've had.
People are discovering it and are surprised, and they're moving here from other states because of the quality of life and the cultural events, and they can buy twice the house that they had in these urban areas for the same amount of money or even less. And we have boutiques and shops. Also, we're about 10 minutes from the world-famous Greenbrier Resort Hotel.
For the 3rd year in a row, we were named the first 10 best USA Today's 10 best small town food scene. And so we own this visitor center here that's right in downtown Lewisburg, and we're just so happy to host this event. We're providing lunch for all the racers and volunteers, and it's just great to have this hubbub of all of the excitement and these great cars and all of these great people in our town. It's been a real pleasure. Our goal and mission is to market the area as a premier tourist destination, so people will come here and, spend the night, go eat in our restaurants, shop in our shops, float down the beautiful Greenbrier River, and just enjoy our area. So we're like the marketing agency and the cheerleader for the Greenbrier Valley.
Oh, I'd be navigator, hands down.
Driver, easy.
Yeah. My direction style is kind of like naming, say like the funky looking tree, or you're gonna see a turn, but you got past that one, head to the next one.
All the landmark stuff.
It's not great.
I've learned to roll with it.
Yep.
Farewell from Lewisburg.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. From Evel Knievel's artist to 15-year-old driver with his family team, the Great Race brings generations together, proof that passion for cars has no age limit. The Great Race is brought to you by Rod End Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them.
So first of all, none of this would be possible without our sponsors. Rogo Fasteners, Hemsaw, ACC Performance, Rod End Supply. At 30 miles an hour in a stick shift, you can be in second or third gear. Both are hard. Neither gear works for you best. So it was so hard keeping 30 miles an hour in that gear. Doug was laughing at me so hard. So the Great Race is all about challenges, my friends. It is not easy. You're going slow, but there's nothing easy about it at all. Let me go ahead and see if I can't put this guy on nice and straight on this race car. We call it Datsun. Belongs to Doug Harris.
Hopefully be friends till the end of our days.
In fact, I have a couple friends who every year try to make it to either the start or the finish to spend about 3 or 4 days with us. And along the way, we're fortunate this year to get to Daryl's hometown, a home area in West Virginia, so he could see some relatives and longtime friends. And today, of course, his siblings are here to greet him in Roanoke, and what a better way to finish than to see your family.
My sister and niece and nephew live here in Roanoke. My brother is down from Wheeling, West Virginia, and my other sister is up from your neck of the woods, Atlanta, Georgia. We're having a family reunion at the Great Race.
Great Race is filled with special people like George Sadlak. This gentleman is the artist that did all the work on Evel Knievel's motorcycle and helmet. He's also the artist behind the artwork that's going to be auctioned off at the banquet the last day. And all the proceeds from the auction goes towards the X Cup. Tell us about your painting, George.
Basically, I took different vehicles that I knew were going to be in the race, except for this one. This one here won 3 years ago, and it's a Veely, and actually it was made in my hometown in the 20s. And this car here won about 3 years ago, and a couple of years ago, these young ladies were only 18 and 19 when they did it. And loving Corvettes, I put the Corvette in, it's in this race. And these guys with this 41 or 40 Ford, and then these are the young kids in the X Cup that got this 76 Toronado, I call the Hoopty. They got it all fixed up and they're driving, having a lot of fun.
This Hoopty right here with the bull horns on it, this is the one that Cotton and I fixed in the parking lot for the X Cup, and the very next day, the kids got an A, so we did a good job fixing that. Cason's right next to me. I look at him like, man, how old are you? He's like, I'm 15 years old. I'm like, and you're driving the car? He goes, yes. I'm like, you're driving it with a permit, right? He said, yes. And he's got his family, his cousin, his grandpa, and the father with him. Now, for all you guys who are waiting till you're 18, 20, 21, 22 to get your licenses, I'm sorry, but shame on you. This guy has got a permit, and he's doing the Great Race. And in my opinion, the Navigator's got a hard job, but we have a very difficult job, don't we?
So I've been racing since I was 3. I started out in USAC quarter midgets, and I went desert racing after that. Did that for a couple years, and now I'm back doing circle track and IMCA modifieds. And
wow. So what's the future look like for him?
To whatever we can get his feet in.
Right?
Yes. One of the things I always wanted to do is just get him in whatever cars we can get him in to race and have a good time. And my dad has been a big help to me in accomplishing that, you know?
Well, it's a 1963 Ford Galaxy 500. It's convertible. I bought it in Massachusetts about 4 years ago. I asked the boys if they wanted to race. They were all over it. A little Ace over here was ready to do the video for us for a family event.
I've been driving this Southfield Classics SC31T all weekend. This is the prototype that they built. Complete Chevy 3100. The patina on it is absolutely real. This truck is as you see it from the factory. All they did was use this as a mule to make it high voltage. And you guys, these high voltage vehicles don't have the issues that any of these EVs have. One, they're not ugly. For some reason, the companies think that you have to make the cars design a certain way so that you know that it's electric, and most of them are just ugly. They're heavy. And because they're heavy, they may have a lot of road noise. And that road noise also is the reason why you're killing your tires, because the tires have to put up with more weight. So these trucks that Southfield is building along with the GT doesn't have any of those issues. This truck weighs exactly the same as a regular 3100 Chevy truck would. The powertrain has been replaced with high voltage powertrain, and the 3 batteries are the same weight as a complete outfitted 350 small block. So considering that this truck is a 1950-51 truck, 5-window, and driving it down the road has none of the noises that my Chevy Hemi truck has. This thing is completely quiet and solid. It's very cool.
Welcome back to more Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. At Southfield Classics, Noah and Dan show what it takes to build electric EV hot rods, where craftsmanship meets cutting-edge technology and 6-month turnaround times.
This week at Southfield Classics, we're going to be talking education. There's a lot of things that people don't know when it comes to high voltage vehicles, and Noah and Dan are going to answer a lot of those questions today. Where do you see the future of high voltage going?
Well, a lot of it's going to obviously change in technology, right? So eventually your battery packs will be smaller. All this stuff will be more obtainable, and then you'll have more suppliers for these things to where it'll almost not make sense to even go the other direction where typically most people go, which is a gasoline engine. And it's eventually will be enough to a point where I think everybody will be satisfied. When? How long? That is, I guess, the question. That would be hard to answer, but it'll make it there, right? There's plenty of people working on it now.
So you're saying that eventually the high voltage stuff is going to be maybe not so scary.
You know, even on the green truck was actually even a lot faster than what I assumed it to be. But what becomes the harder part of it is probably the software to ensure that everything's working properly.
And safely.
And safely is very important, right? Very important. A lot of what we do here is to ensure that the cabling and even some of the wiring is done efficiently enough to where it's not coming back. And it's all really just a plug issue. It's really just maybe one little connector, that's it. In most cases,
yep.
That's what it seems to be.
With like you said, with the vehicles, you have a lot less maintenance, and that's because the only thing that you have as far as a cooling system is for the inverter, and then you got the standard brake system.
Yeah, you just have a rotating electric motor that just gets cooled and lubricated by trans fluid.
All right, so Dan, what does it take to actually be a manufacturer?
So it's a real pain, let's put it that way, but in order to be a manufacturer, the jump from being a hot rod builder and going to manufacturing is just a long process. So part of the manufacturing process, be a licensed VIN manufacturer, is we have to get all the certifications together in order to provide VIN numbers for the vehicles. So our trucks are considered 2025, 26 model year vehicles, just like any other new car, because they're all new parts. There's a couple things that we had to follow. One of them is the replica car law. In order to get a VIN in the United States now, according to the EPA and NHTSA, is you won't be able to do it with an ICE engine.
ICE being internal combustion engine.
In order for us to get our licensing, it had to be an electric vehicle. You have to go through the government process, of course, which is always a fun ordeal.
And none of this is inexpensive.
None of it is cheap, let's put it that way. For us to pass all, of course we got to pass all the tests, we got to have all of those in place. But of course, like I said, we're going to do low volume here. We're only doing about 10 to 15 vehicles a year. That kind of keeps us under a little bit of a radar.
Well, where the customer wins is you and I were just talking about this earlier, of the waiting lists that are going on out there with people who want vehicles built.
Absolutely. And what we've seen, with the business I was in before I came here, I would go all over Atlanta working at different shops. And what you see is they've got a backlog and they're putting people on waiting lists to build their cars. So a lot of people that are wanting to build a street rod or a resto mod, or they're 3 years out, 5 years out.
Before they even hit the shop.
Before they even hit the shop.
Right.
The way that we've got it set up with the manufacturing side of it now is is we can actually turn a car around every 6 months. So from the time that you put your deposit down to the time you deliver the vehicle, it's going to be about a 6-month turn.
So next week we're going to come back down to Southfield Classics and we're going to start to assemble the vehicle, show you what the process it takes to make one of these in a 6-month period so that you guys can have one for yourself.
Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. Sam breaks down turbocharger basics, boost, blow-off valves, and wastegates, explaining how to add power safely without blowing your engine.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about boost. I was on the internet scrolling, because that's what we all do, right? And I saw an explanation of what the job of the blow-off valve is, and it was just totally wrong. So I wanted to clarify some things. So we're going to talk about turbochargers in particular today, and boost and how it all works. The turbocharger, first off, is a compressor that has a turbine housing on one side and a turbine that is connected to an impeller through a common shaft. In the middle is a cartridge that oil goes in and oil comes out, and basically the theory behind it is right here you have an exhaust manifold, and this is a supra manifold. It takes the 6 cylinders and brings them collectively into one area, which is the turbo flange, and then you have the wastegate flange. The turbocharger is going to sit right here. The gases are going to go through, spin the turbine, which in turn spins the impeller, which compresses the air and creates heat. When you create the heat, it's going to go through the intercooler, and this is basically a radiator core. It's air-to-air intercooler. It's going to cool that air charge down from whatever it is to roughly ambient temperature. That's where you want it. But the more space you have to fill, that's where lag comes into play. This is a Subaru turbo, and the wastegate, which we're going to talk about right now, is internal, and it controls it right here through the turbine housing. So the wastegate's job right here is a valve, and it's going to open up, determined by boost. There's a spring in here. Let's say you wanted 8 pounds of boost. There'll be an 8-pound spring in here. You're going to put boost pressure here to the side. That's going to lift the spring up at 8 psi. It's going to open the valve. It's going to bleed off gas energy, slowing down the turbine or keeping it regulated at a certain speed. The blow-off valve's job. What happens is the intake manifold, which takes the air charge, has a throttle body and a throttle plate. When it's open, the boost goes right in. But as soon as you snap that throttle, you do this, and the air stops. It has nowhere to go. The job of the blow-off valve is to release the air and put it out into atmosphere, saving the turbocharger. So when it comes to boost, especially turbochargers, it's going to be the most efficient way that you can add boost to your engine. A supercharger does the same thing, except the blower is run off of a belt, which takes parasitic loss from the crankshaft, and therefore causes you horsepower. So especially you 4-cylinder guys and you 6-cylinder guys, you don't have a lot of torque to waste, but a 4-cylinder especially requires a turbocharger because there's no torque there to spare to turn a blower, so you're not making any real power there.
I think it's really important too, and you've always been known for building, efficient and for longevity. And so many people, if you want to put a turbo in your car, don't just call one person, don't just go to one source on the internet. You're going to need to ask around and make sure that you're not just trying to get the most you can possibly fit into, because you're just going to blow it up.
Not only that, you don't want to buy an inexpensive turbo either, because if
Correct.
it falls apart, it goes through the engine.
Yeah.
It can cause a lot of problems. We
Do
went
your
down that
research
road.
on this one.
Absolutely. So you guys go out there, have some fun, you kids. This is nothing more fun than taking one of these turbochargers right here, little bitty, add some air, 8 pounds of boost. If done right, any engine can handle 8 pounds of boost all day long. So grab yourself a little car, 4-cylinder, go out there and do what we did at the beginning of Nopi and build a cool car.
And if
Go
you
out
have
there.
questions, if you're building a car, especially with a turbo, and you're not positive, send Sam an email at info@samsgaragetv.com.
Be sure to check out Sam's Garage on these other media platforms. From the great race to EV innovation and turbo tech, this episode proves every build, from antique to electric, is driven by skill, science, and love for the road. Join us next time on Sam's Garage, where every ride tells a story.